Hi, everyone, and welcome to Trades of the Week with myself and no other than Keith Sullivan. Now, today we have something very exciting to talk about that everyone's obviously talking about. Ethereum, right? Ethereum might become the first blockchain in the world that will become profitable as a business. However, we tend actually to say, why is no one talking about XRP and what's going on that side of the fence? So today we'll dive deeper into it. What's going on with XRP that very few people are talking about? But before we get started today, we do need to mention something very exciting, which is the IM Insider. Remember, IM Insider is our one-stop shop, right? If you want to get started with trading and investing, you can sign up for free to our and become an IM Insider. And in there, you will find courses on how you get started with cryptocurrencies, how you get started with stocks. And not only that, you get Marcus free copies of his best-selling books as well, together with a lot of other amazing pieces of content. So without any further ado, make sure you press the link in the description and somewhere around here and sign up today. So with that being said, let us jump into it. Oh boy, right? We do need to speak about several things. Are we officially in a recession? We're going to start off by looking at the buffaloes that we have been investing into and trading with for the last couple of weeks to see how they're doing. Are you excited, Keith?
Very excited, Dennis, as always.
Okay, that sounds good. So looking at ACI to start with, we are hovering around the, in the middle of the kind of stop loss range or the loss range. So we're slightly in a loss here. We never got stopped out, which is great. So now you do have the chance to get in at a better price than we have if you do your research on this. So earnings have happened, and earnings were actually not that bad, I assume as well, since the price is actually going up a bit. So it's a good time to enter if you do your research on this. We do need to speak about NVEE, NV5 Global Inc. We're up 4% in profit on that. We haven't been able to moo yet, but I know Keith is itching to moo as well. But we're up 4% in profit here. We're locking in 3% profit currently, waiting for it to potentially do something like this, and then hopefully have another leg up so we can keep raising that stop loss. And then there's not much to mention. We're a bit in profit here on PAYX, Paychecks Inc. And we have the stop loss at break even. And then on KRTX, we are coming a little bit into profit here, which is great news as well. And the same is going on with GBT, also going into profit on that, which is great news. And the same with Coty. So it is looking very, very great, I would say, currently in our investments and trades, but obviously no emotions attached. And we do have one buffalo to add as well. But before that, Keith, please update us. What's happening in the market? Are we officially in a recession?
Yes, Dennis. So as we said last week, we had the GDP announcement, and what we predicted has actually come true. And we had our second negative quarter. Now, if you don't know, the kind of terminology for recession is having two negative quarters of GDP in the US. And they had the first quarter being negative, and actually this quarter was minus 0.9%. So the second negative quarter of the year. So now we are officially in a recession in the US. But one question that will always pop to mind is, yes, we're in a recession. That's bad for the US. But why did the stock market go up? And a lot of people are asking that question. Now, if you have a look at why the stock market went up, there were two main reasons. Number one, Jerome Powell basically was talking about we cannot be in a recession when employment is as strong as it is. Okay, so they're talking about employment still being relatively strong. Everyone is still in work. Unemployment rates are still relatively low. Unemployment claims are relatively low as well. And that is not what we naturally see in a recession. So that's number one. And number two, we are also seeing consumer sentiment increasing. So the consumer outlook is actually becoming more positive. So they are being more positive in the way that the economy is going to grow and recover. And the next point of this is all around the Federal Reserve's interest rate hikes. And as we know, last week, the Federal Reserve increased interest rates at 0.75%. That caused certainty back into the market because we knew we were going into a recession, already in a recession. We knew what the Federal Reserve was going to do with interest rate hikes. But what we were looking at is from the FOMC meeting, what is the Federal Reserve's next step with inflation? Because they can't carry on increasing it at 0.75%, 0.75% every month. That's just not feasible. So what is the Federal Reserve's stance now on inflation and increase in interest rates? And they really held their cards close to their chest. And that is the first sign of a potential pivot from the Federal Reserve, meaning they're not going to be as aggressive as increase in interest rates. And that naturally, when the Federal Reserve pivot, historically, we see the market go up in value. So what we are basically looking at is there was a couple of bits of positive news for the investors. And now we might have seen a short-term bottom in the market being formed and a relief rally actually recovering. So the market, in a technical standpoint, would start to look to target the lower highs that the market's created over the last few months, where it went lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. And as that's what Dennis is going to show us now. So as you can see with the NASDAQ, we have already targeted one of the lower highs, which was back in, I believe, middle of May. So we've already targeted that, and we're slightly trading above, which is a positive sign, because this is showing us the stronger the relief rally gets, the higher the market is going to go naturally. So we are being a bit more positive. But what does that mean for us? We know what the Federal Reserve are doing. We know what interest rates are doing. What does this actually mean for us? We believe that the market may carry on up over the next few days to weeks. So now we're going to start looking at more long positions with our Buffalo. So we're actually going to be really balanced with our hedge, because right now we were more shorts than longs. So we're trying to be more balanced. And secondly, we are also looking at taking profits when it comes to the VCAs. Okay, so we've had a lot of work accumulating as the market drops. Now it might be time that we're going to start to look to take profits. And the last thing that I'm going to add to the overall economy in the update is we have now seen a breakout on the upside of gold and silver, which is great because it's showing us that commodities was known as the safe haven for investors. And that is a positive thing. So the fact that we have started to see a bit more of a breakup on gold and silver is giving us that interpretation that people are putting money back into commodities, which is balancing out from when they're not in equities, they're not holding it as dollars anymore, they're actually moving back into commodities. So if you are investing into gold or silver companies, make sure you have a look at that, because you might be in profit or slightly in coming up to profits. So we now need to manage our investments. So overall outlook, negative in regards to what the economy is doing, but positive outlook on what the Federal Reserve is saying is going to happen. And we're seeing a positive move in the market. So overall, Dennis, I think, yeah, we might have seen the bottom, but we can't quote that. So anything else to add on your side?
Well, I mean, your crystal ball has never failed us in the past, so why start now? So, no, I think what you said with gold as well, it's kind of consolidating a little bit like the Bitcoin chart, except that it hasn't broken this level of support that was created all the way back in June 2020. So we're kind of bouncing up and down there. So nice to see a rally in commodities as well, as Keith said. So we're going to look into that a little bit closer as well. But no, nothing else to add more than we're adding a Buffalo, and that would be MRCY, Mercury Systems Incorporated. We have a nice looking risk to reward ratio as well. And I think the potential could be high for this to go up as well. So we have a couple of ones that, ACI and some other long ones that we're in and looking at raising the stop loss on, but we're adding a new one here as well. And remember, it doesn't matter what's happening with the market, with the Buffalo. So therefore, we just need to be hedged, make sure we have positions going up, make sure we have positions going down. So we are covered on both bases. Now, when we now jump over to cryptos as well, I think cryptos is going to be very exciting as well, because cryptos, there is a very, very important topic we do need to discuss here. Now, what we need to discuss is really here Ethereum versus XRP to some extent. But let me start off with the chart of Bitcoin. Currently, we are consolidating here. So currently, we are making in the shorter time frame higher highs and higher lows, right? So as long as we keep doing that, we will be going up, right? In the shorter term, naturally. So currently we're trading within this range here. Let's see here in the shorter term. So we're trading within this range right here. And what you'll be able to see is that we do need to break this resistance here before we can then move higher. So we'll see. We're trading within this range at the moment, slight pullback maybe before a continuation, which will be very much related to what the stock market is doing. So since we're expecting a little bit of a positive break to the upside on the Nasdaq and stocks, we think a similar situation will play out for cryptos as well. But it will depend on how the market will react now after we've got the news of a recession, etc. So with Bitcoin going sideways, for all we know, it could also be a continuation like we saw back here before we then have another move to the downside. But that's way too early to say. So in the next week or so, we're just looking here for either a break to the downside here or to the upside. So we'll see, but I do like the fact we had a previous level here of resistance. You can see these two bounces over here, and currently we might get down to that at 21,600 to maybe then reverse higher. So we'll see what's going to happen there. So make sure you look over your positions. I think a lot of the really good cryptos are really at a steal at the moment. Among those, Solana. And you can see that from the highest point, they're down. I mean, they've really been hammered, down 83, 84%. So they've really been going down. So that being said, right, make sure you look over your positions. We have a few of them that are down quite a bit, but then we have some highlights. Now, we did invest into Filecoin, among others. And Filecoin were actually down 95%, which gave us a really good entry point. And this is why it's important, because after it rallied nearly 100% or so from that low. It's not enough for us to be in profit, but that will make all of the difference for us when we invest at the lowest point and really follow the strategies. But the real news that I want to mention are two things, right? Number one, I'm going to state the case here for Ethereum, because Ethereum might become the first blockchain in the world that will become a profitable enterprise or a profitable blockchain. Because really, if we nail it down, a blockchain, what they do is they sell storage. They sell an opportunity to store your transactions or store different forms of data. Currently, all of the blockchains out there, including Bitcoin, are negative, basically. They're not making any money in terms of the fees and their whole ecosystem, basically. But when Ethereum now transitioning to Ethereum 2.0, it might become the first one, which is great news. So everyone's speaking about Ethereum at the moment, but the question is, why aren't people speaking about XRP? So Keith, what is happening with XRP, and why do you think people should speak about XRP?
Yeah, so in regards to the XRP scenario, as you know, I'm an advocate for XRP. Not because I'm fully invested. No, I'm not fully invested. But
well, your car has, XRP on it.
It does. I'm driving around with an XRP mobile. But no. So in all seriousness, in regards to what XRP are doing, obviously they're still in the SEC case, and we know that that's been going on for about a year and a half, nearly 2 years now. It is coming to a point that there might be a settlement on the horizon, maybe in court or even out of court. I think with the SEC, it's probably better they do it out of court so they don't physically lose the court case, because then that really is going to cause a bad time for the SEC to really take down other coins like maybe Solana. Because if XRP win the court case, then theoretically it's going to be very tough now to go and do a lawsuit on the other coins, okay, back in that time. But the main thing that I really like about XRP is two things. Number one, they are looking to become regulated after this court case as a company. So Repo, as the company, they're looking to become regulated by the SEC in the US, which is a great point. But number two, and there is a new payment method in the US called ISO 222. And this is basically the new payment method, which is going to replace the SWIFT payment method that's currently happening. So right now, in regards to banking systems, what's happening is if you're going one bank to another, you're going to have to send money from one bank to a middleman and then to the second bank. So then there's that a lot of delay, a lot of charges. Whereas if you use the ISO 222 method, there's no real middleman. There's a lot more quicker transactions. And it's basically like running on DeFi, decentralized finance. Now, XRP itself is one of the coins which is a native token to this payment method. Now, are we saying that the SEC case was, a conspiracy to hold XRP price down until they regulated and implemented this new payment method? We can't say, obviously, because we're not in that mindset of them. But we can see a real positive impact on XRP because XRP as a payment method is relatively quick, I say relatively, very quick, very cheap, and it can be utilized worldwide. So if the banking systems need something that's quick and cheap, and they are implementing this payment method between the centralized banks in the US, XRP should be one of the coins that can be utilized. And with that being said, as soon as it goes live, there's talks about XRP going 20x. Now, we're not sitting here saying, get into XRP, it's going up, because we don't know, right? But it now has a platform.
For yourself.
But it has a platform, right, Dennis? And this is the challenge that people are facing right now is where should I put my money? If I've got limited amount of money, which projects do I believe are really going to, help grow my portfolio? So Dennis is an advocate for Ethereum. I'm an advocate for XRP. You've got the likes of Matic. Matic jumped over 160% last month. You've got Oasis Protocol, who's now just done a partnership with Facebook, Meta. So there's a lot of projects out there. Now, what you have to look at is, don't look at what is that short-term gain going to be, because investing is a long-term game for us. So always look at what projects have the sustainability aspect, which ones have the foundation which can grow over the next 5, 10, 15 years. And for me, I think XRP really does have a strong foundation. And as soon as the SEC case is done, I would expect some positive reaction, because what's going to happen is people are going to invest into XRP and it's going to be really listed on the major exchanges as well. But Dennis, what's your thoughts on that?
No, I totally agree. And I mean, even though we say that Keith is an advocate for XRP and for Ethereum, we're invested in both, right? Because both of them have ginormous potential. We're so early still. And what's really speaking for XRP as well is that they have a partnership with over 200 or so banks already. So they maybe have been building this a bit in the background. So comment below, what do you think? Which do you like the most? Do you like XRP better? Do you like Ethereum better? Which would be your number one pick as an example? So we believe both of them will do really well over time. We don't know when, we don't know where, but we do think they will. So we are, of course, all in Investment Mastery investing into these projects as well. So we do believe that, and I just want to emphasize this, don't mortgage your house, don't put everything in, make sure you use good risk management. So for example, I only put 20% of my net assets, so the assets, money I invest into properties, stocks, etc., I put those into cryptos, 20% or so, just because the risks are higher, and with higher risks sometimes comes higher gains as well, because the markets are so early and it's so young. So therefore, we want to invest a limited amount. But that being said, we are looking at getting into, with the strategies, XRP being down 74%, a great first entry point if you're new. And if you're not new, if you've been watching our channel, or maybe you're already in all of these positions, make sure that you do look over your portfolio, do invest according to the strategy as it drops down. And looking at the likes of CRO is starting to go up again, right? A lot of these are starting to go higher. We spoke about Matic. If you invested in Matic all the way down, it's up to 200% or so, like Keith said, right? So you might be in profit. And if you are, make sure you scale just shave some cream off the top as well. But no, I think that's pretty much it. I think I think what's happening with Ethereum, what's being built, the merging over might become the first profitable blockchain, XRP, that might be the new foundation and the transitioning from the old Swift system that we have. And those are just two examples of the development that is happening in the blockchain and crypto world. So even though the price is going down, the development is happening like never before, which is very exciting, we think, because what will follow that is price eventually. As adoption continues, more people and businesses and institutions will get in and price will follow. And like you've said as well, let's jump over briefly into VCA as well. So do make sure you comment below XRP or Ethereum, which is your favorite coin and why. And that would be very interesting to hear your point of view. So looking at a few of the companies we have as well, including those PayPal. And you can really look at all of them. All of them have started to go a little bit higher. Zoom as well is not really zooming higher, but it is going a little bit higher. So do make sure you look over your portfolio here as well. And for CMG, Chipotle Mexico Grill had really good earnings together with some other companies. So currently you see we invested at -24, -34, and now moved our stop loss to +15, which is great news. So can we move now, Keith, or no?
Not yet, because we haven't,
Okay.
as Marcus says, we haven't killed the cow yet.
Well, I mean, I'm still advocating that we are milking the cow, but fine. If this come down, we'll continue to raise the stop loss. So this could continue up further for all we know. So the one we want to add today is CTSH. It's a technology solutions company, as you can see, and they're down 25%. And what we really like with this is the fundamentals. They have really good and strong earnings. They have low debt and a really good growth potential as well. So we do believe being down 25%, it's at a solid level of support as well, which really looks fine to me as a first entry. So -25%, this is the one we're adding for this week. Anything to add there, Keith?
No. So in regards to the investment, as Dennis said, fundamentally, we are seeing a company which is making consistent returns. It's growing its net profit. Earnings per share is growing. We are seeing low debt to equity. We're seeing good quick and current ratio. So it's looking good in regards to a sustainable company which is growing year on year. Now, the only thing I really want to add is if you are new to the channel, and I know there are some new subscribers, so welcome, first of all. But if you are new to the channel, you want to know about the strategies. How do we do the Buffalo? How do we do VCA? There are two places. You can look at the I Am Insider with the link below, or you could book a call in with one of our trading consultants who can take you through 20-minute call of where you are, where you want to go, and also understanding a bit more about how we trade and invest. So the link also is going to be in the comment, because I know we talk a lot about the strategies and there's a what if, how do I do this? Use the link below, because then we can help you understand how and why we do these type of strategies. But that's all I really have to add there, Dennis.
Perfect. No, I totally agree. And you can do that within I Am Insider as well, which is awesome. So the last thing I want to mention then before we wrap up for today is what's happening with the results. And the results we have, as you can see here, are the same as last week. So we haven't really closed anything. You can see here, Buffalo, 63.2% on our total portfolio, which is a lot better than you get in the bank. And add to that inflation as well. VCA, 1,025% on the money invested. Cryptocurrency results, CCA, 1,510% on the money invested. And with small cap, 4,320% on the money invested. It's not on the entire portfolio. It's on the money we have invested. That being said, and this is important, that being said, we are down on our portfolio, and the positions we're in, as you saw, right, in the trades of the week, we're down on those at the moment because we have been averaging down now when the market has fallen. All right. So we're loading our cards, we're loading up for the next bull run to happen. And who knows when that will happen. But what we do know, I'm just going to throw this out there, we will have the next halvening, which has been a big catalyst to an upward swing in the market. That will happen in 2024, so in roughly 1.5 or so years, which is going to be very exciting. I'm looking forward to that. So that being said, everyone, really hope you enjoyed Trades of the Week this week. And do not forget to join our I Am subscriber, or to I Am Insider. I Am subscriber, that's good. I Am Insider. And also, of course, don't forget to subscribe. And like the video, comment below, what are you investing into? Is it Ethereum or Ripple, or none of them maybe, or both? Comment below so we can look at it together as well and support you through your journey. And with that being said, don't forget to hit that alarm bell so you get notifications to know what to do and when to do it. Every week, we're going to be here to support you on that journey. And from myself, Keith, the whole team, we wish you a wonderful week, and we look forward to seeing you on next Trades of the Week.